Hey, good morning, everybody. It's early mornings LA. Yesterday, the new jobs number came out, and it was no good. Wall Street reacted. It was ultimately down or flat for the day, much of Wall Street. But in overnight trading, the Dow and NASDAQ futures are down. And this is as Jerome Powell says we need more stimulus. We need a lot more stimulus. With unemployment numbers not improving, the call and push for more stimulus is underway. The stimulus package, however, will get finalized in potential form in the House subcommittees later today. But your push can still continue. In this video, I'm going to go over FPUC. I'm going to go over the business grants. I'm going to go over the other items like paid sick leave. And of course, I'll touch back on SSI and SSDI. There's a lot of things to push for in the third stimulus package. And ultimately, Nancy Pelosi said yesterday that this is not the only stimulus bill there is. But the question is, why is Joe Biden meeting the White House to discuss potholes and the climate yesterday? This is Early Mornings LALATE. Hey, good morning, everybody. The toast is toasting, the butter is buttering. I'm here, you're here. I'm excited you're joining me on a new morning. It's Friday, ready to crush the weekend? How are you? You know, it's a little bit warmer here in Los Angeles, but you know, it's just still not, it's still not springtime. So if you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. This is LA, from Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, the most comprehensive financial news you'll have around the clock. I'm so excited you're here, and make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you're not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. And thank you to the thousands who have joined and the hundreds who've joined this week as well. The link is in the top of the description, also in the chat. Earlier today on Overnights LA, we had EIDL at 1 a.m., FPUC at 2 a.m., and Hazard Pay last night. There's a lot of really helpful videos in there, so make sure you watch them, and there may also be another Hazard Pay video after this before Mornings LA. People really say these videos are very helpful for informing them how to apply for the EIDL grant, Hazard Pay, and doing FPUC. Meantime, this is an instant chat, and it's an instant chat. You can chat with Purple Power buddies. Chat about what you're thinking about the weekend. I mean the actual weekend, not the singer. Everything else. Also send your wishes to Sirloin. He misses you. And with that, I have so much happening across the board. Let's get right to it. Let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you start a new morning is that Jerome Powell is just not happy with his economy, and I'm not happy with it either. And there's nothing to think that we're anywhere close to rebounding. Jerome Powell this week appeared before the Economic Club of New York and was asked, hey, you know, certain parts of this economy are doing really well. So you think this economy is rebounding? He said, absolutely not. What are you talking about? We need stimulus. Until I see broad recovery of unemployment in all major sectors of this economy, I'm not happy. He's basically saying that you can't just have individual parts of this economy rebound and say, oh, we're fine. That's why you need a lot of stimulus. Despite the surprising speed of recovery early on, we're still very far from a strong labor market whose benefits are broadly shared. Given the number of people who lost their jobs and the likelihood that some will struggle to find work in the post-pandemic economy, achieving and sustaining maximum employment will require most of the support, more than supportive monetary policy. So he's saying we need stimulus and more. And ironically, his comments were the day before yesterday's numbers. Yesterday's numbers came in for unemployment. They were no good. It basically says we need a lot of stimulus. And the longer you wait for the stimulus, the longer the recovery. Janet Yellen earlier this week said stimulus needs to go out right away. But this right away is being really stretched as slow as it can be stretched. Your stimulus check will be coming to you, but the bill has to be finalized in the House and go to the Senate on February 22nd. Yeah, it's still February 22nd. It's not today. And then the Senate messes with it a few days. Ultimately, timing is a real big issue. $1,400 stimulus check for individuals, $2,800 for a married couple, $1,400 for children, $1,400 for adult dependents. Yeah, the adult dependents are supposed to get $3,200. What's going on here? Everyone was supposed to also get $2,000 stimulus check on top of that from Cash Act 2020. What's going on with that? And then you're probably wondering, what happened to the SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, $200 a month that goes on top of your existing benefits, which is clearly COVID relief. It's stimulus relief. Where is that? Keep looking because it ain't there. They've gone silent on the issue, and don't let them. Now, don't presume that you're the only group on SSI, SSDI that has been forgotten. Oh, I just said to you, adult dependents have been forgotten. They're supposed to get $3,200 now. SSI and SSDI are not seeing that money now. Doesn't mean you're never going to see it, but it should go now. I'm going to say that again. Does not mean you're never going to see it, but it should go now. Who should you tweet? Elizabeth Warren. What should you do? You should share her this video. Say, wait a second. Call her up. Say, wait a second. You said we're going to get this item done. And Joe Biden said we're going to get this item done. So what has Elizabeth Warren done in the last 7 days? She introduced a bill a week ago today for $50,000 student loan debt forgiveness. Okay. I guess that goes first. But how about this? What did Joe Biden do yesterday? He met with members of both parties in the White House. And he said his next two priorities are, guess what? Drop in the comments what you think his next guess was. I'll get back to that in a second. I want to see your comments first. But the tax credit has really been fascinating. This concept of taking a tax credit and prepaying people is really quite great. The concept of the following is that people who have a child will get a multiple stimulus check paid early, basically in advance for something that you would normally get paid next year. I know it sounds weird. You've never heard of the IRS paying you money before you do something, but this is what the bill is calling them to do. Pay parents $3,000 or $3,600 for a child 17 years or younger as an advance now in this year for next year. Excuse me? I've never heard that before. So that would be prorated starting the month of July for 1 year. Okay, well, that's absolutely wonderful. And parents of this channel are excited. But how about we do that for earned income tax credit? The earned income tax credit is $1,500 if you're an individual and you work during this pandemic. Hazard pay, but made less than $27,000 approximately. How about you get that $1,500 paid starting in the month of July? Yeah, I like that as well. So what did Joe Biden do in the White House as his next top priority yesterday? Met to talk about climate and potholes. I just can't. Climate and potholes. Yeah, that's just top priority. Crush the potholes. The potholes are already crushed. You need gas to drive the car, to drive on the potholes. If you don't have a stimulus check, you have no gas. I mean, how many times am I going to say this? You need money to buy shoes. If you have no shoes, you're not going to be tripping on the street curbs or sidewalks. I mean, it's just, let's put the priorities straight. Now, I'm sure some of you dropped in the comments he worked on stamps yesterday. Yeah, I expect he's going to work on stamps. But I mean, the air is going to be crappy today and crappy tomorrow. How about we get a stimulus check? I don't know about you, but if I had a stimulus check in my hand today, the air looks really nice. I could look up and it could be, downpouring and rain. Oh, I got a stimulus check. It's a great day. So, I don't know what's going on there. And Ben Cardin, who is the single most important advocate for EIDL grant last year, that $10,000 EIDL grant, he met and he said, hey, this is great. We're working on potholes. Excuse me? Meantime, Johnson & Johnson CEO Alan Gorski this week said that you need to vaccinate every year for the COVID vaccine. Unfortunately, as the virus spreads, it also mutates. Every time it mutates, it also is like a health click on the dial, so to speak. We can get another variant of the mutation. We can have another impact on its ability to fend off antibodies. Can we get another stimulus check for that? Yeah, I mean, here's the rub. The stimulus package was based upon no variants, and that we're all back to normal in the month of May. I mean, that was Joe Biden's promise. We're all back to normal month of May. Schools reopen in month of May. Businesses reopen in month of May. Well, here's the rub. Here's the rub, is that vaccinations can lead to business reopening, but it doesn't solve unemployment issues. This is what Jerome Powell's talking. This goes to FPUC Retro. Jobs may reopen, but that doesn't mean that there's enough jobs for people. Let me explain economically how this works. 450,000 businesses are gone because of this pandemic. So if we have by May mass vaccination of the U.S. population, we say, okay, we're ready to reopen. Guess what? When we reopen, we have 500,000 less businesses reopen because 500,000 are lost. So when they open their doors, who's going to have more jobs for you to go apply for? Well, if it's essential worker type place, like a grocery or anything like that, they never closed. So they're not going to have more jobs for you. And if it's a business like retail that was in limited capacity, I mean, maybe they'd have more jobs for you. The question is where the jobs are going to come from, because a lot of businesses were not closed completely now in the last few weeks. And when they reopen at full capacity, are they really going to have more jobs? Last week, a week from today, we heard the new job creation in the month of January was 6,000. Yeah, 6,000 in the entire United States. So, and that's with, not complete lockdowns in many states, partial lockdowns or limited capacity. So that's really a big question. Walgreens Senior Vice President of Pharmacy, Rich Gates, this week said, I say late March, early April. By the timeline, you'll have it more broadly across all stores of the nation, the pharmacies, and other places start vaccinations. This is great, but how soon is the next stimulus check? How soon is the FPUC retro? In the third stimulus package, the FPUC retro was supposed to go back to July. $600 a week from July till until the pandemic's over. Then in the recent weeks, Joe Biden said, I'll do $400 a week from January to September. Okay, so he's going to do sort of retro for bring you back to when second stimulus started, and then carry you forward. It's a down payment. It's a down payment for the $400. Now it's not down payment for anything. In fact, it's not going retro. Now it's $400 a week starting March, going to August. There's like 9,000 things wrong with that. First, it's not retro. It's not retro to July. It's not retro to January. Second, it's not $600. Why is it $400? Third, it's not a down payment for anything. It's coming after the period. That's not the purpose of the word down payment. Down payment means part of something else. This is not part of January to March. This is something after March. And finally, what the world's with September? What's the world's with August? No one in their right mind thinks that this country is going to be back to normal in August. Janet Yellen doesn't think that. His Treasury Secretary, she spoke this week and said, I don't see reemployment at a normal level until next year. So I just paused. You know why I paused? Because guess what happened last August? Yeah, drop in the comments. I bet you remember what happened last August. There was a deadline in August. You remember? Yeah, it was the airlines. Yeah, you remember. But there was a deadline for other stuff in August. Remember what they did? Yeah, they went on vacation. So I just sense this whole thing, letting things lapse in August. I just sense things are going to lapse again in August, and then people aren't going to get FPUC, and then they're going to forget about 5 months later this year, and then start FPUC again in 2022. It's a reoccurring message, and I don't know why they're doing this. Dr. Fauci said the population will not go back to normal unless we have 75 to 85% vaccination. That's not going to happen by May, but we can't still reach it. But there is progress. You can get modifications in this bill. The minimum wage was out, and now it's in. Education and labor. Ultimately, if you're watching this video wondering what can you get in, what can you get out, you can get the FPUC in there retro if you push. Ultimately, let these people be accountable. House Ways and Committee is doing FPUC, the tax credits, and the stimulus check. House Ways and Means Subcommittee. Richard Neal is the chairman. Second, labor is doing hazard pay. Then the SSI and SSDI, that would probably go under unemployment benefits or ways and means. Unemployment benefits is also doing FPUC. The South African variant has now been discovered in California, which is another reason why I get these things moving, this big stimulus. For the first time ever, the South African variant has been identified in Alameda County and Santa Clara County, we learned this week, which are part of San Francisco County. South Carolina, Maryland, Virginia, and Texas have it as well. This could lead to new problems. Finally, SBA is back with more problems. Yeah, Javier Carranza's gone, but the SBA problems are still there. There's a firewall that's preventing PPP loans from being processed. PPP loans, starts with a loan and turns in grant. And just a lot of big bank owners are coming out and saying what's going on. The SBA has put up this firewall. It's not going to be very beneficial, says Sam Sudo, Vice President, Customs Bank. They basically said that these problems are just slowly blocking things to go forward. As Roll Call said last weekend, the Ways and Means Committee is focusing on the $941 billion of the package through Friday. That's today. So they're going to get it all done. Let's see. Finally, Sanders and Yellen said we need to get big stimulus. They're not delivering it just yet. There's absolutely no reason we should suffer through a long, slow recovery, said Yellen. Sanders says we're at a strong cliff and we don't get it. We got to do it right. Hashtag FBC Retro, hashtag SS200, hashtag MSC. If you have questions, comments in today's video, drop them in the comments below, and I may feature them in tomorrow's recording. Also, like this video. If you've not subscribed, subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Free to subscribe. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay up that life for more.